Oh no, of all the times not to get a headshot! Rosa! What the fuck? LGs of the tube, thank you for tuning in another video here. Today we have Rosa. This is your best mate's missus, dude. When he asks to go home, man, on a night out or something, you just know that he needs to get home. You're the dude calling that taxi, man, because you want him out of there as fast as possible, dude, because you do not want to mess with his missus, dude. That is exactly what Rosa is, man. She's a hard-hitting hunter, dude. There's some good and bad things about this build, and we'll go through them today, but for the most part, it's used in certain situations and it's really, really good. Oh, nothing like an Ash Barty backhand slice, dude. Slice! Boom! Yes, all right, let's go. All right, so the tekkers will be up there on the top left throughout, because I just have a gaze at them whenever. That's pretty straightforward. For the sword, I just cruise water katana. You just do whatever you want, man. The perfect parry window helps for challenges. I don't find melee damage really necessary with this, with the hunter, so cruise with that. Ultimate damage, I find that better to use than only damage here. It seems to, over the course of the 15 waves, just help out a lot more, so that's why I choose that. You definitely can go only damage there, though, if you want. For the bow, we're just going straight damage, no draw speed, no reload speed, just range damage and headshot damage. And then the perks, you guys do whatever you want to do with them, but I'll go through that later on as to why we roll this on the bow. Same rolls here for the charm, just damage, man. Range damage and only damage is better here, obviously, but yet again, you could do ultimate damage here. I just chose to do only damage because I've got a good roll, so, and it works really, really well for your ability and all your fire damage, and then your ghost weapons deal a bit more extra damage, so you can definitely do ultimate damage there if you prefer it, but only damage is pretty good as it is, so we just go straight damage here. No draw speed, no nothing, just straight damage. And for the perks, we just run Fire Master and Foul Arrows. Now, to suck every last bit of damage out that we can, man, we are cruising with the Magma Bomb for our smoke. I think this is a really good way to go because you get it back a lot quicker as the cooldown's only 90 seconds, especially with cooldown on kill. You can still use the caltrops then that way, and you can still get some extra damage that way as well. So it's a bit tricky, and I'll go through it a bit later on, but it's a good way to max out your damage. For the caltrops, you're just better off going ghost weapon damage and status effect duration. I just got a perfect roll on the reductions, so I decided to go with that. And deep bags and fired up for the perks. So that's it for the build. I'll just quickly go through some of the, you know, the benefits and obviously the downsides of playing like this, as there are, you know, there is a few, you know. Not having any reload speed and not having any draw speed is not always a good thing. Just because you're dealing more damage, it's not always good, so we'll cruise through that now. The first motivation for making this build for me was because I'll be the first person to stick my hand up and say that I'm not really a great hunter, you know? So I kind of wanted to, it's gonna sound bad, but I wanted to take the skill out of being a hunter and just deal maximum damage. Some of the really good hunters, they can smash headshot after headshot and it's crazy. This kind of just takes that away. Like there's just no need for it because you don't need to draw your bow, you don't need to consistently hit headshots. This is more or less about just making sure that ability hits the headshot and then you ult, and that, you know, that wipes so many waves. Whether that's playing just normal matchmaking like I'm doing in these video clips, or even if you're going for like top 100 or something, like there's no real difference there. The only issue is there's like 2 or 3 waves that you might have to solo, so you just have to be good at those 3 waves, and then besides that you're hitting so hard it's not funny. So now this build is best used on weeks with the disciples. The reason why I made this build is so that you can focus more on your damage, like that's why all those range damage ones are in there, and headshot damage and stuff instead of draw speed or reload speed, because you can just get a lot of your resolve from the disciples, and then whatever else you don't get, you've got the sticky, right? Which means you should be able to get your ultimate up like a lot without having to stop there and smoke and get headshot after headshot and then get your ult. So there's a lot of It's just about trying to get different ways of getting resolve, essentially, and the sticky bomb does so well, especially on cooldown. You're able to use that as much as you can by killing as many people as you can. That can sometimes get you 2 bars of resolve just on one bloody sticky bomb, especially if you have a barrel there as well. Like that's just like this clip here, that's a barrel. I'm at 1 and a bit. That barrel just gave me 1 and a bit, right? Ultimate wave over type thing. So that ultimate is seriously damaging with all that extra range and headshot damage. That's an extra 22% there. So when that ultimate bounces around, that's 10 headshots, right? So that's in theory, or sometimes by only 8, but that's in theory almost up to 200% or 220% damage, which is pretty insane. Now the obvious downside is if you ever do have to solo and you don't have smoke. So the Magma Bomb can do it, it's just nowhere near as good. If you just want a bit more of a safer build, just get the smoke. It's as simple as that. If you want a safer build that's a bit more consistent, go with smoke. Especially if you're going for top 100, because other samurai will probably want the munitions as well. So I just thought for the sake of making the hardest hitting build, I'd just do caltrops and see how I go, but honestly I think smoke will be definitely the safer bet to go with. That about wraps it up, guys, so thanks for sticking around to the end. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Ciao.